Ryan!
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How's it going? Where are you?
I am in New York City right now.
Oh, okay. Not
Yeah,
far.
Upper West Side. Where are you tuning in from?
I'm Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we had some people who were in the comments who said they were tuning in from Nashville.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
we got a beautiful one today. It's like 80 degrees, sunny, so thankful for that.
yeah, it's gorgeous out today too. Yeah, it helps. Like, do you have a lot of windows in your house and a lot of ways to get sunlight into your system right now?
I'm very lucky. Yeah, I do, and I
Yeah.
have a nice backyard that I can just flop out in and kind of hang there. I'm very lucky for that. I have a
Yeah.
bunch of friends up in New York who are cooped up in their little apartments, and I just feel awful.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm in a 470 square foot apartment, and
Yeah.
compared to some people I know, this is like a mansion. So
Yeah, I know. I'm trying doing everything I can not to complain during this time, you know?
yeah, yeah. How are you staying? How are you staying positive? How are you staying? I guess positive is the wrong word, but proactive during this
No,
weird.
yeah, I am trying to keep a positive outlook on everything, as I normally try to do. But I'm very bad at sitting around and kind of being idle, which
Yeah.
to a flaw, I think. So luckily, before this all went down, I started kind of building a little bit of a garage gym.
Oh, nice.
And kind of as I saw it looming a little bit, I was like, oh boy, I could probably like, really ramp this up. So I got a bunch of stuff there. So my days consist of kind of waking up. I always have my cold brew right away and then take a walk outside. I live in a nice like suburban kind of neighborhood, so I can walk outside without much trouble. As far as, a lot of people crowding around. And then
Yeah.
I'll always do a workout. I'll always try to do stuff around the house and FaceTime with friends. And then as the clock winds down a little bit towards nighttime, we'll do happy hours and stuff like that. And just trying to keep busy as much as I can and trying to be productive during this weird, weird time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so important to take care of our mental health during this time. Physical health, mental health, emotional health.
Yeah, and it's different for everyone, right? Like some
Yeah.
people probably can use this time to kind of do nothing. Like some people, I
Ah,
think that's totally fine to just disconnect and be like, you know what, I'm going to lounge and watch Netflix and go for a walk and that's it. And I think that's great. If that's what you need, that's what you need. For me, it would make me feel the opposite of what I need right now. Like I need to feel like things are still moving along. So I think it's important to listen to yourself, listen to what your body wants and what your brain wants, and kind of just follow that.
yeah, I mean, I know people who are super, super driven right now, and I also know people who are shaming themselves for not being super driven, which is so counterproductive. And I mean, everybody and everybody is different.
Yeah, I think I think any extreme is too much. I don't think this is a good time to use an excuse for not working out. You know what I mean? Like, well, what's the difference? I'm not going to see anyone. I'm not meeting
Yeah,
girls or guys or whatever. Like, I don't think it's a good reason to use that as an excuse. But
yeah,
at the same time, yeah, some people have been, who knows, overworked and finally don't have to go to work and probably can just feel totally fine sitting around. I think that's great.
yeah. Like, what an amazing. I mean, under weird and wild circumstances, but what an amazing time to give ourselves. Many of us have needed a pause for a very long time. I mean,
Yeah,
you just recorded and produced and now released an album. So
yeah,
how
yeah. This
how
was this is a tough time for us because we kind of worked hard on this record. And I say worked hard. We were in a beautiful like mansion in Palm Desert with a pool, and but we were still like working. Yeah, we were still working, and that was in July. And then we were kind of building all this momentum and building just this thing that we're going to release upon the world top of April. And finally, we did it. And now we're kind of stuck not being able to do much. But it does. I've been saying this that it kind of does force creativity from a different angle. Like I don't know if we'd be doing this. You know what I mean? If you
yeah,
and I were both not stuck in quarantine, would we
yeah,
be doing this and telling people that what we're saying and the kind of positive message that we're trying to convey here? So it does force a different lane of creativity, which I think is really important. But it's tough. I mean, I miss the dudes very much in the band, and I miss that fan interaction and kind of just being around them and feeling the fact that the fans are receiving this music the way that it was intended. But luckily, we are staying in touch. We're doing, like I said, some happy hours and some chats with them, so I get to see them and feel that enthusiasm.
so for anybody who's just tuning in, this is Ryan.
Hi,
He is part of the band All Time Low.
I
And
am.
we have people from my account in here too who might not know who you are yet, who definitely should know who you are. And before we were talking about the way that you're managing your schedule, staying positive, staying proactive during this weird and wild, what I'm calling for now normal time. And I
Yeah.
know that we talked about that already, but could you give a brief like Cliff's notes of what we just talked about?
For sure, yeah. I was just saying, for me personally, I'm not very good at staying still and kind of just idle time. I think it's probably to a fault that I could probably work on that. But so for times like this, when a lot of people do find comfort in that relaxation and kind of quote unquote lazy time, which I think is totally fine and probably well needed, I'm trying to do kind of the opposite, where I'm trying to force myself to be more productive, to figure out what I can do around
Yeah.
my house, what alternate workouts I can do. Because, you know, I did find myself getting in the same kind of gym routine of like, okay, today's chest day, today's leg day, today's cardio. And even though I've built a really nice, like what I'm proud of, like garage gym in my garage, it forces you, you know, you don't have the machines, you don't have certain
Yeah.
things. So it forces you in a different way. But so I'm just trying to stay very productive, trying to stay safely outside as much as I can. I was saying that I know I have a lot of friends in living in New York City, such as yourself, that,
Yeah.
you know, you're saying your place is like 400 some square feet. And
Yeah.
I am so fortunate that I have like a backyard and I live in a neighborhood that I can walk around safely and, you know, being health conscious about it all. And so I find a lot of very fortunate things. I'm trying very hard not to complain. I know I have it a lot better than a lot of people do. And
Mhm.
it's just yeah, like most things in life, I try to find the positives in it and I try to make sense of it and just
Mhm.
kind of carry on with it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you are being so mindful about being positive, being proactive, but also not like forcing yourself into
Yeah,
that space and
right.
forcing yourself to feel something if that's not what feels true to you in the moment.
Yeah, one thing I said on the, you know, the previous interview we were doing is I think it is important that if you do feel like now's the time where you can finally unwind and relax and your only activity is going for a 30-minute walk or anything like that, I think that's fine. Like, I don't think there's any shame in that if that's what you're feeling. I think that it becomes an issue if you're using this time as an excuse for why not to work out or why not to do anything or
Yeah.
not be active or why not work on yourself. I don't think that's the right idea, but some people need to work on themselves, and that means just laying low and being kind of chill.
Yeah.
But as long as you're just, it's tough to stay like uh, head above water during these times where every day is the
Yeah.
same day and there's nothing really to look forward to. We don't know when it's going to end. So I think it's important to be mindful of, maybe give yourself something to look forward to, or even if it is, like I said, like one of the things I love is waking up in the morning, having my cold brew and taking a walk around my neighborhood. And that's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
That gets the day started right for me. It doesn't have to be, okay, I'm going to do 30 pull-ups today, or I'm going to, you know, sweat for an hour. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that. Just these little incremental growths and these little, just these benchmarks that you hit, I think is very important to keep you motivated throughout this whole time.
Yeah, I'm finding that a strategy that I implemented before all this and that I'm like really, really leaning into right now is that I would make like little music playlists for myself and tell myself that I was going to listen on a certain day, like while I was doing a certain thing. Or if a new album just dropped, I would wait to listen to it like while I was going on my walk or going on my
Yep.
run. And you just had an album
Yeah.
drop, and
There you go.
so people can listen to your album, and that can be the thing that they're looking forward to.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually,
Yeah.
because as a musician and a guy who's been doing this for a very long time, our band's been together over 15 years.
Oh,
Um, I have to do that same thing because I don't always want to listen to music because I'm
yeah.
surrounded by it most of my life. So oftentimes I do have to say, okay, you know what? On Wednesday during my walk, I'm going to listen to the new whatever record. And so that's a very good point. And yeah, I will say that our record is a great one to take a walk to or to take a jog to, whatever it is you do. So I'm very proud of it. And you know, we're trying to find the best in this weird time to being able to promote it and being able to share the experience with the fans.
Mhm.
Try to, you know, bring on some new fans. It's uncharted waters for everyone, and you know, our industry wasn't spared by it. So once
Yeah.
again, we're just trying to make the best of it and do what we can. Things like this, good example.
Yeah. What's the thing that that you're the most excited to share about this album? Maybe that you've been excited to share this entire time, or maybe now that times have shifted for everybody, that you have a new passion about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the record it just came out at a awful time, but also kind of the best time. It's a very hopeful record, and it feels like sunshine. And not to, you know, it's called Wake Up Sunshine, but we wrote the bulk of it while in a beautiful house in Palm Desert. You know, we were in a pool half the day. We were in our little makeshift studio half the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole record itself kind of encompasses this relaxing, positive, and kind of push yourself forward vibe that I
Yeah.
think people need right now. We had
Yeah.
a long discussion about whether or not to push back the release, till things are more stable. And our point of view was people kind of want stability right now, I think. And not to mention, they probably want to be distracted and want to listen to new music and want to feel inspired. So we were like, yeah, it's, our first week will suffer and like we won't be able to sell as many or whatever that is, and we won't be able to go out and promote it. But at the end of the day, like the fans will enjoy this record for their life. So they might not remember the first
Yeah.
week it came out or anything like that, but hopefully it can kind of get them through some weird times that everyone's trying to just navigate right now.
You said that you've been around for 50 years. Oh no. Am I back?
Yeah,
Please.
you're back. You're back. You're back.
Ah,
You're good now.
sip of water after that. That was fun. You said you've been around for 15 years, which is incredible longevity for any sort of artist,
Yeah.
especially musicians. How have you found that the band has evolved, the music is evolved, and like maybe you've evolved in the last 15 years?
I mean, we grew up together. I mean, we started this band in the ninth grade, and we're all 32 now,
Mm-hmm.
ish. I think
Yeah.
Jack and Zach are still 31, but whatever. We're all
Oh,
32.
yeah.
And so we not only evolved as a band together, but yeah, I mean, we grew up together. We went through all the same problems, the same relationship issues, family issues, personal issues that everyone else did. We just did it while touring the world for 10 months out of the year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was a crazy thing, but we've all evolved together. Our music, we've been very lucky that we've always been fans of our band. And I know it's a silly thing to say, but we've always wanted to go back to any record, whether we put it out 10 years ago, last year, and be like, oh shit, this is a good thing. Like we really enjoy listening to this. And I think when you do that, you kind of stay true to the writing process, and that you're not writing something for any other reason other than, oh, this feels right today. You know what I mean? Today I want to
Yeah.
write something dark. I had a rough night. I want to do this. And that's
Yeah.
totally fine. It's cathartic. It's therapeutic. And we've never ignored any of those feelings. And especially for this new record, it was very kind of just bright and sunny. There are some darker themes lyrically, but for the most part, we just all wanted to write about the same thing and have the same vibe when people listen to it. And that's why
Yeah.
it kind of came out as this full piece of work.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What would you say? I know that, I mean, we've now pivoted to, we're now on my account, which I have a lot of creatives who are on there, and there's a lot of creatives in the Aaptiv community, people who are
Sure.
people who are actors, who are artists, who are musicians, who are photographers. Um, do you have any, I don't want to say advice, but like words of wisdom for anybody who's creating art during this time, how they can maybe make the most of the time that we're in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's forced us into a different lane of creativity, whether it's musicians or artists or any sort of creative type, or really probably whatever business you're in. It's kind of, we're doing things like online meet and greets with fans and live streams with fans and happy
Yeah.
hours with fans, and that's something we've never done before. And so for us, like, I love it. Like, it sucks that we can't be out there literally interacting with fans and hugging fans and stuff, but it is, I love being forced into a box and being like, okay, how can we make the best of this opportunity? So
Yeah.
it goes back to what I was saying about, don't use this as an excuse to not do anything. Just find the way out. And if your way
Yeah.
out is poetry, whatever, music, drawing, it's just, you can use this as just forcing your way to look at things differently. That's what everyone has to do right now. I don't care if you're a accountant or whatever, like you have to find new ways to do what makes you tick, or
Yeah.
what makes your world good. So again, I just think it's important to not use it as an excuse to be complacent, but instead just find your way out that makes you happiest.
Yeah. And but the time that I was with Ryan, we had a fantastic time, and I'm super pumped to be with you. You're tuning in. Did I get this right? Are you in Hawaii right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in Hawaii. I'm sitting in my driveway.
Wow. Oh my, that is probably the most beautiful driveway I've ever seen in my
it's it's the best home gym that you could ever have.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know that you're super into fitness. You posted some really easy ab exercises that
Yeah,
anybody, all fitness levels can do. You posted that on your account the other day.
Oh, a little April Fool's didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah. So before we get into, we dug into the album and how you're connecting with fans with Ryan. That was super fun. I want to check in on you, and then we're gonna do a little quick fire action and maybe have a little fitness challenge. Are you down for that?
All right, I'm
Okay.
down for that.
Cool. But you know what? Anything can happen in this Instagram live.
That's true. It's true.
Okay. So first of all, check in with you. How are you doing physically, mentally, and emotionally right now?
Physically, I'm doing very well. I went out before all this happened and bought a squat rack and all the things I need, bumper plates, and I have some mats so I can do everything at home. So physically, really, really good. I've been following my comp class Monday through Saturday, and then I took the last 2 days off and just had some
Nice.
fun at home.
Good.
But
You just
so
released a freaking album. You should have
yeah.
some fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I celebrated this weekend a little bit. Thank you.
Good. Well, it looks like you're doing good. It feels like you're in good spirits, which makes me happy. I know that a lot of people are struggling right now. We all have our highs and lows, but I think that when we are at our highs and when we are feeling well, it's really good to share that with everybody else and spread that positive energy. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, of course, yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Because the internet is being probably on my end because everybody in New York is in their home and just on the internet. Because the internet is wonky on my end, I'm gonna stay right here. However, I would love for you and the people who are watching along, I would love to get a little plank challenge.
All right.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna ask you some quick fire questions, and you can do a high plank, a low plank, a side plank. I would love for you to hold the plank of your choice, and everybody who's watching can hold a plank at the same time, get a little core work in, and have a little fun with that. Take this.
I'm probably gonna have to do let's see, based on this angle, probably a low plank is gonna have to be the best for me.
It's an all-time low plank?
Yeah, probably.
This
if I could hold hand balancing for 3 minutes, I could, but it'd be really hard to answer questions.
All right, no, we won't do kicks. I want to make sure that we just have the time that we have. So I'm going to tell you to go. You and everybody else who's watching, hold a plank of your choice, and Zach is going to answer some questions that I am super pumped to ask him. All right?
All right.
3, 2, 1, plank. All right, Zach, cardio or weights?
Oh, I like the mix of both.
Mix of both.
Yeah.
Beach vibes or mountain hike?
God, these are so tough, especially where I live.
Oh,
I'm gonna say right now, mountain hike.
mountain hike.
Beaches are closed.
Right. Yeah. And the mountains are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Your favorite book of all time?
My favorite book of all time, The Great Gatsby.
Me too. Our dog F. Scott Fitzgerald, actually.
Oh, nice.
Big arena or intimate gig?
Intimate gig.
What is your favorite vocal warm up? And for bonus points, can you do it?
Me and I like to do this like kind of thing, and it kind of like gets, and you keep going higher and higher. There you go. It's like a weird duck thing.
Perfect.
I don't know.
That's wonderful. Everyone can practice that at home. We're gonna have beautiful voices coming out of this quarantine.
Yeah.
What is your favorite pump song to listen to?
My favorite what song? Pump up song? Oh, right now, I would say Run by Neck Deep.
Awesome. Favorite feel-good food?
Favorite feel-good food? Pierogies.
Pierogies. I have no clue what that is.
It's basically like a dumpling, but it has like mashed potatoes in the middle. Sometimes onions.
Great.
It's
it's
Polish.
I want to make pierogies tonight for dinner.
Yeah, you probably can.
I have all of the things. Biggest role model?
My biggest role model. I will say since I've gotten into CrossFit, Kelsey Keel is one of my biggest role models, and she's a beast. CrossFitter, and just an awesome person, genuine, super smiley. So
Awesome. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
usually I'm a night owl, but lately I've been waking up super early because the roosters by my house keep crowing.
Oh, that's a good reason too.
So it keeps me up.
Favorite show to binge watch?
The Office for sure.
What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Don't do that.
Don't do. Yep. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Don't do that. The same.
What's your favorite thing about music?
I like that it's an outlet of you can speak through music, like not necessarily like verbally, but your emotions come out that way. So it's a different way to portray how you're feeling in that moment, especially in front of people.
What's your favorite thing about fitness?
The euphoric sensation after I'm done a massive workout.
or a massively long plank.
Yeah.
Your favorite part of being in all-time low?
Just meeting new people while traveling.
Awesome. And then final question. 3 things you're grateful for right now.
I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for being able to communicate with everyone and still put out an awesome new record for everyone. And I'm thankful for nice sunny weather.
Done. You are done with your plank. Everyone, you are that was fantastic. That was the best quick fire question session I've ever done. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know that we had some technical difficulties. Things got kind of wonky along the ways, but I know I really appreciate you coming on and pivoting so last minute. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. And I appreciate your new album. It's really, really fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And next time you're gonna have to try my easy ab exercises.
Yeah, I'll try and perfect the one where I'm upside down, and we'll reconvene after all this is over. Maybe I'll have mastered it.
I'll give you a little rundown of all the modifications you can do to make them easier.
And everybody who's watching, if you are not following Zach, if you're not following Ryan, if you're not following All Time Low yet, make sure that you are following them. Check out their new album. What's a one-liner elevator pitch that you can give for your album of why people should listen?
It's all time low over the last 17 years, all the best parts put together on one album.
Awesome. All right, Zach, it was a pleasure so
Hey,
much. Be safe.
thank you so much. I will. You too. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. That was awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. If you're not following All Time Low, make sure that you're following them. If you're not following Aaptiv, where this was supposed to be, make sure that you're following Aaptiv. If you're not following me yet, hey, we're here. We're friends now, so let's be friends on Instagram. I cannot wait to see you again soon. Move forward fearlessly, spread the good word, and be the you know you're meant to be. Bye.